Hello, this is Mr. Pattinson, and today I'm going to introduce you to a skill that will help you in this course and every clay course that you'll ever take. We're going to flatten clay into a slab. And in order to do that, we have to remember first our safety setup. First of all, a little bit of newspaper on my workspace. 1 or 2 sheets will do us. Remember, we use a little bit of water to dampen the newspaper and to contain any dusty airborne particles that could arise while we're working. Small spray bottles with water are located in the shelf on the classroom. Next, we're going to need some clay. The clay that we use in this class comes in large bags, and it's the same material that you would harvest from your backyard or riverbed, but fortunately we don't have to do that all the time. Instead, we simply take it from the box. This clay is soft and pliable, and we're going to start with about this much clay. I'll put the rest of the clay over here for now. And in many cases, you want to wedge your clay first, although in this case, I'm not going to do that. I'll show you how to wedge clay in a separate video. But this is something that we're going to turn into a thin slab. We can do a number of different things to make that happen. First of all, to finish our setup, we put our clay board on the table. Now think about this. If you hit the clay down onto the table, a certain amount of compression is going to happen. It might be fun to stand up on a stool and throw it down as hard as possible, but that becomes noisy and distracting, and it's really not all that effective. This does work because gravity causes the clay to hit the board and want to flatten out. We can help this process along. Instead of depending just on gravity, we can apply a little bit of resistance to this clay. In order to do that, we want to take the slab of clay and put it in our hand like this. If you're right-handed, use your dominant hand. If you're left, use the other hand to hold your board down, because what we're going to do is drop the clay as if we were dropping it just to hit, but now we want to give that clay a little bit of direction. So we want to bring our arm across our body, starting over here somewhere, and bring that clay down so that it sticks and wants to keep going. This is the action here. Arm across the front of my body, and you can see it's already beginning to stretch the clay in that direction. When it's stretched sufficiently in one direction, you can turn the clay 90 degrees and stretch it in the opposite direction. If we're going for a square, you can even do this and pull the clay towards yourself. So as we think about creating our slabs, you can see that we're most of the way there by using this simple technique. In order to refine it and ensure that the slab is consistently thick, we can use spacers. These are wooden spacers, they're just discard wood, and those spacers can ensure consistent thickness. We can put 1 or 2 spacers, perhaps even 3 or 4, on either side of the clay that we want to roll out. We'll begin with 2 spacers on either side. We have a variety of rolling pins. This might be the largest rolling pin in the world, but if you want to use a smaller one, we certainly have them in the class. These spacers elevate the rolling pin above the clay, and as you roll the clay from above, there's no place for the clay to go except beneath the rolling pin, and the rolling pin can't compress the clay any more than the height of the 2 spacers. So if I like this, it's about 1 centimeter thick. If I want a little bit more compression, if I want a thinner slab, I'll take my rolling pin, I'll remove one spacer from either side of the clay and roll across the clay like this. If it seems like the clay is stretching in just one direction, I can lift the clay, turn it 90 degrees, and roll it in the other direction. This technique is particularly helpful to you when you're rolling out slabs for tiles, or as we get into hand building, you'll see that slab construction is one of the 3 hand building techniques that we'll explore in this course. When the clay is consistently thick, you have a lovely surface there to cut any way you like and to build using consistently thick clay. Good luck with your project.